let's go ahead and talk a little more about self-care. And Deepak Chopra, who I love and admire, he said that the best pharmacy we have is right here within our body. So let's go ahead and start out with a little more information regarding self-care. There are 3 circles of emotional well-being, and if any of us have ever done it, we throw a rock into a calm stream or a calm lake. There's a ripple effect. And these 3 circles, which I'll explain a little further in a minute, they have a ripple effect. So for example, in the beginning of this, it would be physical. We need to take care of our physical well-being, which will improve our emotional well-being. And then it improves our relationships. So this is the rippling effect. It can either ripple outward, meaning we take care of our physical well-being, it improves our emotional well-being, and then it improves our relationships. Or vice versa, our relationships that we have with other people improves our emotional well-being, which improves our physical well-being. Just for example, physical well-being. Well, what kind of physical are you talking about? I say whatever works for you. We need to do whatever exercise you'll stick with and enjoy. And that may change over time as well. And a partner is the #1 key. Three ways to have a successful workout program. One of them is have a partner. 2, do it in the morning. And number 3 is have it close to home. Those are 3 ingredients for a successful workout program. And next, how do we improve our emotional well-being? And there are different ways as far as self-care goes. One of them is written expression, okay? And it helps you understand how your thoughts might be creating your anxiety and depression. So writing our thoughts down will help give us a clue as to what we're thinking, and are they irrational thoughts? Are they true? If they are true, what do we need to do to correct them? Because our emotions are nothing more than action signals. That's all they are. If we're jealous, hey, we better work harder to get what they have. You know, they aren't bad, but they don't have an IQ, our emotions. They don't have an IQ. They typically are irrational, so we can't rely on those to make our decisions, but our decisions need to be made by our wisdom, which is a much better way to make decisions in life. So the next might be art therapy. Art therapy is a great way to take care of our emotions because it helps you articulate your thoughts when there's a loss of words. Sometimes we don't know what's happening in our bodies, but by sitting down and drawing it, we get a much better visual as far as what's happening inside of you. Then we have meditation. Meditation is what I call the treadmill for the mind. It's a way to teach your brain to chill. We need to teach it to chill because panic attacks, anxiety, and depression is just our brain running wild, our thoughts running wild. So meditation helps to teach your brain to chill, the treadmill for the mind. Next we have biofeedback, which they say is a great way to help with ADD or ADHD, because what it does is it reduces anxiety to improve your focus, which is up here in your prefrontal cortex. Because when we're anxious, we typically are thinking with our amygdala, which is our fight, flight, or freeze. And when that happens, it shuts down our thinking. So it does help with ADD or ADHD. Biofeedback is a great one to help soothe that. And then we have imagery and self-hypnosis, which is another way to take care of our emotional well-being. And that is a way to help with phobias and our fears. Because what it does is teaches you relaxation techniques through having a hierarchy of anxiety-provoking thoughts. So that is actually an excellent tool for that. Well, let's talk about relationships now. We all know how important they are in life. I see clients come in my office and I find that they're having a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. I talk a little further with my clients and I find out they're pretty alone and they are creating some isolation themselves, some social isolation. We all hear in prison, one of the worst things we can do is throw somebody in solitary confinement. Okay, let's talk about solitary confinement. We know what it does to the prisoners. I mean, a lot of them go a little crazy, wacko. They are struggling after the solitary confinement. So that's one of the reasons they do it to the prisoners that misbehave. So we know it's bad for us, or they wouldn't use it as a tool to make prisoners behave. So let's talk a little further about, I don't know if you've all heard of the blue zones. It typically is where people live longer. And they found one of the common elements was the social interaction that they had in these blue zones. There were a lot of parties, social gatherings. They had set up the communities where they do meet on a regular basis and socializing, as well as helping each other out. So it's really important to be social. Also, I hear it with my clients. They come in, they're anxious, depressed, and all of that, and lo and behold, I find out they're pretty isolated. So it's really important to stay social. It can ward off disease, and the research shows that. Research after research shows that it drops the cancer reoccurrence rate. Support groups are valuable, and it reduces cancer reoccurrence, so it shows you how important it is. It also increases mortality rates. So afterwards, when they did these studies on cancer reoccurrence, the ones that didn't have the support groups ended up dying sooner. So let's make sure we get out there and socialize. So when you're tired, don't feel like going out with your friends, I urge you, go out and don't stay at home.